Yo, you guys can hear? Bro, always got to be some problem. Yo, guys, I'm here. I started the stream. Thank you, everyone, here for being here. Thank you very much, HRAESVAELG 346s for the members. Plus, I'm not gonna act. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to be greedy, but I've barely been. Well, I haven't streamed really at all. I did two streams that were like an hour long, and the PC crashed. I got this PC officially fixed. It runs 3 times better performance rate. The person who sold it said it should be comparable, or if anything, better than a PS4 Plus. So my streaming should be really good now. I don't know if maybe I should stream to another platform, but the guy said that the streaming rate should be really well. I'm not gonna lie, for people on YouTube, I don't want to be that guy, but I've streamed so little, and we're only 10 days into the month's over, and I've made a 6 of what I got from last month. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, I mean, I already got jobs, so yeah, I don't gotta. That's crazy. I've been absent for 20 days. Yo, y'all gotta get the likes of share and repost on up. Yo, thank you again for the $2, $2 Canadian. He says no audio, boss. Should be working good now. I don't know. OBS always disconnects my mic. But to be fair, I mean, just got my PC, so OBS resetting is not a big deal. Yo, what's going on? So everyone on YouTube. All right, let's try. I'm not gonna take people on TikTok. Y'all should try and get someone up from TikTok. Y'all gotta get the likes up, share, repost if you haven't already. And we will just wait for people. Is it just me, or does the video quality look better? I might be tripping. Y'all can let me know, people on YouTube. Nah, it doesn't look better, does it? I like to stream on YouTube too. Yeah, y'all gotta interact. I'm not gonna be live for long. I'm gonna be at best an hour and a half. I got work tomorrow in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I gotta wake up, so I gotta be in bed. My mic's good, right? People on TikTok and whatever. What's the time of your place, MB? It's 9. It's just about to be 9:05 p.m. I'm Eastern. I live in Jersey. Mic sound great. Retake Spanish. How do you remember that shit? Yo, y'all be remembering my shit to like the back of your hand. What the hell? You remember I failed my Spanish class? Yeah, what's up? Why is nobody... 2 people in a row just dropping like flies? Yo, what's up?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, what do you got?
I just wanted to know more about what you believe in, if you're atheist.
Well, we're not here to talk about what I believe in. I'm asking you if you have an argument or evidence.
Okay. I would say the Quran, my bro.
The Quran... Okay, well, evidence is a proposition. So let's just get clear if there's a particular proposition you think is evidence.
The miracles of the Quran, bro. I can prove it to you.
The miracles of the Quran. Okay, the miracles of the Quran are evidence for, you want to say, Islamic theism?
Bro, it's examples for the truth.
And that's an answer to my question? I'm asking you if you want to say that the Quranic miracles are evidence for Islamic theism.
I'm telling you that the Quran points to the truth, which is that there's one God.
Answering my question? I know, you said that, and that's why I repeated my question, because I didn't answer it, right?
Okay, so you don't believe in a God, yeah?
Don't ask your own question knowing you didn't answer mine. You answer mine, and then we move forward. Are you saying the Quranic miracles are evidence for Islamic theism, yes or no? How's this hard? Bro?
Your fancy words don't mean anything. I'm asking you on a truth basis. Do you believe in truth? When you see truth, do you say this is truth, or do you deny it?
Look, focus on the question so we can move forward in the conversation. I really want to move forward too.
Listen,
Don't.
you say you don't believe in a God, but your eye.
Okay, dude, if you can't have this conversation, we could end it here. I don't think we need to end it here. We could try to, actually get somewhere. So just so we could be a little more wary where we are, let's just answer the question. I'll repeat the question so we know what it is I'm asking. Or is the claim that the Quranic miracles is evidence for Islamic theism, yes or no?
Yes, it is, bro.
Okay, why did it take that long for you to answer? That's already a big problem.
Sorry, bro. I'm just.
Okay, so there's no justification for that. You could have just answered the very instance I asked instead of wasting so much time. Now we're already on bad footing. So now that we know that the claim is that the Quranic miracles are some evidence for Islamic theism. So first, there's a couple points to go through. The first one.
Okay.
Hold on. I just noticed someone I got to deal with. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Oh, no, I don't know. Why is it not showing up? I'm going to need to go on my phone. Yeah, so there's a couple things to... So first, it's whether or not, I guess, the miracle facts happen, whether the miracle facts happening is expected on Christian theism, whether it being expected on on Islamic
You know what my
theism,
point is?
whether it being...
Can I tell you my point, please?
What do you mean, tell me your point? I'm telling you
My point is, once you understand the miracles of the Quran, you would understand that this book is from God, meaning that is the truth. So when you follow it by that book, that's when you found the truth and you're there for the hereafter and not this life.
Is a mod in here? Hold on. Serial, you're a mod, right? Can you ban the person who has the dot in their name, who's in the requests? Thank you. Other than that, yeah. So there's a couple things to go through. So whether those events, whether or not the miracle events actually happen, whether the miracle events are independently expected on, whether they're expected on Islamic theism. Whether
I can tell you things like that only the creator would know from the Quran. Should I just say it?
No, dude, you keep interrupting me just to get sidetracked. Can we please just calm down and focus?
Yeah, but listen, you're going step by step. I wanna go to the last step, which is I'm gonna show you proof. Okay. I'm going to show you proof that God exists. Okay. That's my proposition.
Okay, thank you for that. So the first one is the miracles happen. The miracles.
Mm-hmm. This is great stuff. You're very logical, bro.
So these are just a few things to consider. So the very first thing I want to consider is whether or not the miracles, I mean, we could talk about whether or not the probability of Islamic theism, given the miracles, assuming their evidence, is more likely than its negation, unless that's not the claim. Honestly, I'm just going to move past this guy. He seems like a waste of time. Seems kind of immature.
Hello.
Why is it? How old are you?
16.
Okay, you cannot be up here.
Hello.
Dude, what's up? Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Thank you, Flux, for the $10. He says your fancy words. Why is my piece? He says your fancy words don't mean anything. MB, great start to the stream already. Yeah, I know, right? It's me and my fancy words. Me and my fancy words. Yeah, what do you got?
So I don't think there's really evidence to prove God exists or that he doesn't exist. But like, if you think
agree.
about it, so you could, let's say you die as an atheist and there is no God, then there's nothing. And if you die as a religious man,
Hold
like,
on, what do you mean there's nothing?
Or, well, do you believe in a, like,
I'm asking
being
you
after?
what you mean that there's nothing.
So if you die, you believe there's like nothing, like there's just, it's just black, or no?
You're talking about what I believe, or you're talking about what is a consequence of atheism?
No, so it's a consequence of everything. So even as a religious person, right? A Christian or a Muslim, if there's no God, right? I'm just saying.
Hold on. It's a consequence of everything. So it's a consequence of religion. If you die, then there's nothing.
No, so wait. So what I meant was,
let's just be really clear what I'm saying. You said there's nothing after you die if atheism. Then I asked you if you're saying on my view or a consequence of atheism. Then you said it's a consequence of every view, meaning for any view, when you die, there's nothing. Is that your view?
No. I just
okay. So that's a mistake. So let's just get really clear.
That was a mistake.
When you say when atheism, you die, there's nothing. Was that talking about my view, or is that talking about what atheism is committed to?
So I don't know your view exactly. What I'm talking about, the atheistic view.
So you're talking about atheism implies. So yeah, so you're saying it's a consequence of atheism. Oh, but how's that true?
Sorry if I worded it wrong. It's just English is not my first language, so apologies.
Okay, and what's the argument that if atheism is true, there's no afterlife?
Yeah, so let's say if atheism is true, there's no afterlife, not for religious people.
You're not really good at paying attention. What's the argument that if atheism were true, then there's no afterlife after you die?
Yeah, no. So what I meant is what I mean is that, let's say if an atheist died and there's nothing, it's nothing. If an atheist died, but there's God, there's hell. So
listen,
okay.
You're not listening. What is the argument that if atheism is true and you die, there is nothing? How many times does that have to be said?
Well, atheists don't believe in like a higher being, or
we're not talking about what atheists believe. You said it's a consequence of atheism that if you die, there's no afterlife. I'm asking, what's the argument? That doesn't just be. Imagine every atheist believes in unicorns. Doesn't mean it's a consequence if you believe in atheism, you believe in unicorns. Even if it's empirically true, all atheists believe in unicorns. What is a commitment of atheism is that you believe that there's no God. Okay, but you're saying it's a commitment of atheism that you believe, or that is, if atheism is true, then there's no life after death. Now, what's the argument for that?
I mean, I can't really argue for what happens after death, because I don't know what happens after death.
No,
not
but
for
you're
atheists,
saying on atheism that's a consequence. Obviously, it's not, right? Obviously, you could be an atheist. There are atheists who believe in afterlives. How are we getting to God exists, though? Are you just giving like a Pascal's wager, or do you have? Is that obviously? I'm not interested in that.
No. So what I was trying to say was that if
it just sounds like Pascal's wager, which you're just incredibly confused because you think atheism implies there's no afterlife, which is just grossly wrong. In fact, there's many theists who also don't believe in an afterlife. So I'm trying to understand if you have an argument that establishes that a God exists.
I mean, there isn't really a strong argument that God exists or that he doesn't exist. It's like,
I don't agree with you about that, but that's not really an answer to my question. Unless by you saying there's no strong arguments, you're saying you don't have an argument you could present. I'm asking you if you have any arguments for theism or any evidence for theism.
I mean, not really strong ones, I guess. There aren't really any.
You just repeated the thing I just explained. I'm not asking you if they're strong. Perhaps you think that there's evidences that rationalize, but the evidences are not strong. I'm asking you if you think there are evidences that rationalize theism or
Mm.
argument.
So again, sorry, it's like English
That's
isn't my
totally
first
fine.
language.
Yeah, okay. Just have a nice one. Yeah, Deontay, hermano, you gotta tighten up. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, how you doing, G?
What do you got? You got evidence or arguments God exists?
Yeah, I feel like we can talk a lot about it, but I just want to wonder, like, where do you want to start? You know, there's a lot that
Whatever
we can
argument
talk.
or evidence you want to give.
We can start with the fact that I think that you're an atheist. Do you know what the afterlife life is, or do you believe in the afterlife, or any process that has to do with after
I don't believe in an afterlife. Well, what does my belief
Yeah,
have
but
anything to do with this?
no, I'm wondering, what do you think happens after you're gone? Do you think anything happens at all?
How's it? I'm asking for an argument God exists.
Well, my argument is that regardless of what you think is going to happen after you die, or whatever happens, whether nothing happens or not, right? The first argument I'm going to tell you is that logically, even philosophically, it is better to believe and then bank on the fact that if you're wrong, wait, let me know.
I'm not gonna talk with you. It's just like that guy's brother. Bro, but it's like Pascal wager tards. How do people? I'm not gonna talk with you. I don't know why you're up here. Do people not understand that that's not an argument or evidence for theism?
Yo, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear children. I dropped them. Y'all gotta get the likes up. We're just getting. Yo, what's up?
Alrighty. All right, so I think I have a decent approach. So
Interesting.
fundamentally,
Rick.
I'm gonna be. Everybody says that. I say Nutric, but I don't know. It's just a random name that I chose. But I don't know. I guess everybody's obsessed with nutting. No, but so I believe in essentially a sort of panpsychist, bordering on Gnostic, but that is sort of, you can still hold those views while being an atheist, as you try to explain to people with the afterlife and so on. The main problem that I have is, sorry?
Not gifter. Thank you, Aaron, for the gift.
Oh, okay. The problem that I have is that we live in a physical reality, and this cannot have infinite regression. If you have a circular
regression of what?
Of causality,
Why?
that would break down.
When you say there couldn't be, are you saying it's logically impossible or metaphysically or something else?
I would claim that it's logically impossible, especially when you go the circular route.
What would be the contradiction?
In the circular infinite regression, which is the most popular, you would have to have negative.
There being an infinite regress.
Negative entropy breaking points and going in the other direction. Your microphone would be the basis for the future, and that doesn't make sense if we're tending towards disorder.
This is not answering my question. I'm asking you, what's the contradiction in there being an infinite regress, causal regress?
Well, I'm saying since it is not logically possible, you need to have something outside of this physical.
The claim is that's logically impossible. What's the contradiction?
Sorry, contradiction to what? I guess I'm just not understanding what you're asking for.
What's the contradiction there being an infinite causal past?
I'm saying that there isn't, that this is not possible. Therefore, something must have instantiated the causal chain.
Number 3, yeah, that's the third repetition.
I never said somebody had to initiate it before.
Okay. You're kind of like...
Okay, I guess... Oh, sorry, okay, lost. So I guess why you couldn't be atheistic in this, I guess is what you're saying. I think the reason...
What the fuck?
Well, if you're saying there's a contradiction...
Your claim is that there's a contradiction there being an infinite regress of causal events.
Oh, my bad. You're asking what I think is the contradiction that I'm bringing up. The contradiction is that since we do live in a physical causal reality that could not have gone on infinitely into the past, you would have the breakpoint of a brute fact of something literally starting from absolute nothingness.
I'll talk with you later. I don't know. I'm just not tolerant for like people. Like, how can you not?
Yeah, hello?
How old are you?
Hello?
I'm
18.
not talking. No, you're not. You're probably just gonna say slurs anyways. I could tell by your energy.
Hi, just ask yourself what means system, and you will understand.
Okay, yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're getting like we're not even getting the typical bad guess. We're getting like literal like lunch school slop. It's like it's not even bad food. It's like not even clear if the FDA approved it. That's what's going on here. Y'all gotta get people up here. People, not zombies, not P zombies, not zombies, not the freaking Last of Us, not freaking 24 hours or whatever that film was, whatever. 28 days, 24 days, whatever the fuck. We gotta get people here. People. Yo.
Oh, hello?
Get the likes up, by the way. We're not even 5K. Yo, what's
I
up?
have
What
an
do you got?
argument for the existence of God.
I couldn't hear you. What's up?
I have an argument for the existence of God.
Yo, what do you got?
It's the cosmological argument.
Which one?
The one by Plantinga.
One by Plantinga? Which is what argument is it?
Alright, so do you want me to give you a syllogism?
Just give me the argument.
Actually, I'm just gonna give it informal.
I asked you to give me the argument, then you asked me.
I'm just gonna give it informal, okay? Do you know, actually, I'm gonna give you another argument. Do you know Thomas Aquinas?
Yeah? Are you just
So-
gonna keep asking questions, or are you just gonna render the
No,
argument? What's
I'm
going
actually gonna give it to you right now.
Okay, then why do you keep asking me? Do I know this? Do I know
I'm
that?
done, I'm
Render
done, I'm
the
done
argument.
asking.
Okay.
So everything which begins, like, do you believe everything in the world is contingent?
You just said you would stop with that with the questions and render the argument.
Alright, everything in the world is contingent.
Okay, I'll just
Okay.
write this down.
Yeah.
Everything's contingent?
Yeah. You can critique any premise that you disagree with.
Okay. What's premise 2?
Premise 2 is everything which is contingent must depend on something else. And also, unlike the last guy, I can prove a contradiction with infinite regress.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. What's premise 3?
Premise 3 would be that there must be a first cause.
Premise 4?
Okay, so which one do you disagree with?
Is there no more premises?
Nope.
Then the argument is just not valid.
Why?
It's a non sequitur.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, premise. I'll give another premise.
Okay.
This first cause must not be contingent. And it must be the cause of all things.
Is there a fifth premise?
No, is that valid?
No. It's actually contradictory.
How's it contradictory?
It follows from P3 and 4 that that the I mean, the fact that it says that there's a cause for all things would include itself. Can't have strong quantification like that, but it says there must be a first cause. The first cause must be non-contingent, and premise 1 is everything's contingent. So it follows from P3 and 4 that there's at least one thing that's not contingent, and then you get the statement there for all things they're contingent. So you just get the contradiction that there's I think that's
Okay. Actually, can I switch premise 1, please?
yeah.
Everything which begins to exist is contingent. Is that better?
Well, it's not contradictory anymore, in at least the first sense, or second technically, that I brought up. But it says that everything has a cause. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that can't be true.
So you don't believe that everything has a cause?
Well, I follow that if you're saying there's a first cause, and you're saying that the first cause, which means it has no antecedent cause, has a cause. So that's contradictory. So I'm not even talking about my view. I'm talking about your view is contradictory.
And that's premise 2?
No, it's premise 4.
This is the first cause. This first cause must be non-contingent, and it must be the causer of all things. I'm still not understanding how it's a contradiction. Please explain
It's a
it.
contradiction, one, for the fact that causation's irreflexive, so things can't be the
What
cause
is
of
irreflexive
themselves.
mean?
Things can't be the cause of themselves. So when you get a universal quantified statement, like for all things, that would include the thing that's doing the causal explanation. So
But wouldn't
then
that be
the thing
solved
doing
when I
the causal
said?
explanation is causing itself.
Wouldn't that be solved when I said with premise 1, everything that begins to exist is contingent, and God did not begin to exist.
What? That doesn't change anything. Well, I don't understand what your point is. And also, I mean, it's still not valid, but... Do you understand how if I said all things have a cause and there's a first cause, then the first cause has a
Oh
cause?
yeah, I understand. I'm getting it. Okay.
But additionally,
This
the cause
okay.
is itself, so there's two
Okay,
issues.
I wanna change premise
Something
4.
can't
That's
cause itself, and a first cause can't have... It can't be true. Everything has a cause if there's a first cause, meaning nothing's causally antecedent to that thing, meaning it just doesn't have a cause if there's a first thing in a causal chain.
Can I change premise 4, please?
Okay.
I want to make it must be the causer of everything which begins to exist.
It's like a McDonald's order, and bro's changing. I almost wrote McDonald.
That was weird. When you think of something, you actually write it down without even realizing it.
Yeah. That happened to me several times. I've wrote some funny shit.
It must be a first cause. This first cause must be.
Yeah, I mean, this argument is just not valid.
Because like the thing about it is, right? I can defend. I don't know the exact argument, by Thomas Aquinas, because I'm on my phone, but I can defend it. I just don't have it.
The first and foremost holy shit. The first and foremost issue with arguments like contingency arguments is the fact I'm a skeptic of metaphysical modality, which is already a non-starter for the argument. I have no expectations that philosophers are capable of explicating the concept effectively where I can understand it. You're a layman, I presume. So I don't think you even
I'm a
know what
layman.
modality
I'm not
is.
that
Probably.
much of a layman though.
Well, do you understand that the argument uses modality? You know what modality
Yeah,
is?
I know what modality is.
Okay. Do you understand the different modalities like nomological, epistemic,
Yeah, I understand the
deontic,
distinction.
logical?
I understand
Okay,
the
you're
distinction.
using metaphysical modality, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I don't understand metaphysical modality. Do you think you could explain that to me?
I can do it to the best of my ability, using an analogy.
Analogy?
Yeah, I could use an analogy to explain it.
I'm trying to understand what it means for what constitutes metaphysical possibility, contingency, and necessity. What's the constraints on possible world semantics or on the possible worlds? I'm not sure what an analogy is going to be doing. Complete honesty, seems really strange.
Sure. I'm gonna come back when I study tomorrow, bro.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
You too have a good one. Or good night. It's not the daytime. At least for me, I don't know. For you. But enjoy
it's night for me.
day and night, whatever. Have a good night. All right, let me take this off screen. I got a couple of super chats. So I'm going to read this real quick. Y'all got to keep interacting. Our likes are bottom of the barrel. We had 100 viewers and we had over 100 viewers and we dropped down significantly because no one's tapping the screen. I got to tell you guys constantly, you guys are like ADHD children. Double tap the screen, guys. Double tap the screen, share and repost. Likes are not a trophy. If you didn't know that, they're not a trophy. I don't feel accomplished getting a bunch of likes. They help the algorithm. If you're here waiting to hear good conversation, you got to interact constantly. It's just how TikTok algorithm works. So let me tend to the super chats. We got HR who sent $5 Canadian. He said, confusing unintuitiveness with logical impossibility is so fucking low tier. Yeah, that happens constantly. I mean, I don't know. They seem like they actually think. I don't think they're conscious of the fact there's no like logical tension there with the infinite regress stuff. I don't know. I don't really know where they get that idea. He clearly had nothing, the person who mentioned it, but we've had people who brought up low tier crap like sniper stuff. So yeah, it never ceases to amaze me. Thank you from Bestin Show with the $20. Very W's for Bestin. He says, atheist argument against God is outside time, and so God possesses no causal properties and can't create universe. But if Big Bang emerges from his emergence of time, how can Big Bang occur if also no causal time? I mean, this like, to be in complete honesty, this like talk about God being atemporal and atemporally causing time, it's just gibberish. So I mean, I don't even, it's just horseshit. This is like metaphysical gibberish. I don't know where people get ideas like that. I mean, even the idea of immaterial things causing, but I mean, just talk about God being outside of time. This outside of time talk is just so nonsense. Like I don't know if anyone's seen. I don't know if he's here too. I talked with Theosophical, and it's so funny that Theosophical said that there's a before and after God created. And then I said, when you said before God created, what is the sense of before? What's the sense of priority? And then he said ontological priority, meaning he said that God, after he creates, is ontologically after God before he creates. Meaning that God is ontologically prior to God. It's just contradictory, obviously, because then God is ontologically prior to himself. It was just such gibberish. So this like sans creation stuff you cannot make any sense of with with God. And we got HR again with $2 Canadian. He says this is Rosso versus Amdir Part 2. Yeah, 2.0. You know, I mean, Amdir is not really back. He I don't know if you guys seen, but I had the video on my YouTube channel, which if you haven't seen it, yo, that video was a banger. Definitely watch my YouTube. I did not mean to like my own live. What the hell? But if you haven't seen that video, y'all gotta peep that. But yeah, the only thing is Amdir is still not in the community. I would like to actually set up another debate with Russell. Actually, Russell is asking to do a formal debate with me. So we might do that. So it's been Mason and Ian. We might actually get Charsky too to do that. So yeah, we got to milk Russell, guys. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, my computer's working. I'm on it right now. For sure. Yo, y'all got to get the likes up. We're still super low in the likes. We got nobody in the queue. I'm just yapping, waiting. Y'all got to... Come on, get it up. By the way, buy the merch. I gotta wear the merch more often. I actually got new items in the store if you check it out. We got someone named Monkey Boy in... Who the fuck is... Black African Monkey Boy? Did he just leave? Okay, well, I can't block them. I don't know. I don't know if I should block them. I should have blocked them. I don't think he liked the fact I called him out. I should have. Dang, I sold. I don't know. I don't know if I... That has to be towards me. There... Nah, that shit gotta be towards me. That's crazy. What the fuck? Black African monkey boy. Yeah, okay. Okay. Y'all gotta get people up here. He left alive. I was hovering over his user, but I didn't get to like click it. And I mean, what are the odds he just chose that name? There's no way. I didn't see if he was following me either. I didn't get to see his. I wonder what his bio said or something. It had to be MB Appa special. Huh? Is there like a private group chat in the Patreon? There is, but no one uses it, to be honest. To be honest, there's not really a point. I mean, I like respond if you ping me on Discord, so there's not really a privilege with the private chat on Patreon. But there is a private chat on Patreon. It's just no one really uses it. But yeah, y'all should check out the Patreon. Buy the merch though. The merch is pretty nice. Oh, we got another gift or donation. Come on, guys. We got to get people up here. What's going on? We're not getting nobody in the queue. Thank you again, HR, for the $5 Canadian. He says the more people expose how absolutely brain dead Russell is, the better. He's the best locale of all time. That's true. I mean, he's like great for content. He's a good locale. I like him. I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite locales. And thank you, Charles, very much for the 98 jewels. Very much appreciated. I'm stuttering. I can't talk. I'm shivering. I'm stuttering. It's because Russell's in my presence. Yeah, we got 50 people. We're losing guests or viewers. We're not getting nobody. I don't know. I'm not going to restart. But yeah, guys, what's going on? Share, repost. Y'all got to get people up. Got to get people up. I mean, to be fair, I never go live this late on a Sunday. It's really bad for algorithm. Okay, we got somebody.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm a Christian, and I was just wondering, like, I'm not being rude, but what is an atheist? Like, I'm just wondering. Because I'm just trying to learn, you know?
Yeah, it's someone who believes that gods don't exist.
Oh, like, all the gods, like Huda and all them just aren't real?
Yeah, I don't believe in any gods.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was just wondering.
All right.
All right.
It is a little strange. I mean, you could have done a Google search, but not knowing what an atheist is kind of strange. But yeah, guys, we got to get people up. We only got 50 people now. We went from 100 down to 50. Maybe I should have opened up the YouTube Discord. I don't know. I don't really feel like doing the Discord stuff. I mean, we probably wouldn't get that much people on Discord anyways, so. But y'all gotta get the likes up. He's a fraud. I'm a fraud. Come on, y'all gotta get the likes up, share, repost. What's going on? We gotta get people up. Let's get some conversation. So I just got my PC back. We gotta go crazy. Is there other people live? Bro, the fact I have work tomorrow, bro. Today was annoying. Come on. Oh, Ogre's live. I don't know how long he's gonna be live, but I'm not gonna be live for that much longer. I'm gonna do at best 40 more minutes. So let's try and get people up here. It's almost my bedtime. Yeah, bro, I gotta wake up at 5 in the fucking morning. and I fall asleep. Well, I don't really have insomnia anymore, not really. But I used to struggle from insomnia. I would stay awake for like 4 hours just in my bed. Just couldn't fall asleep. Let's just assume I fall asleep at 12. It's 5 hours, bro. 5 hours sleep. Then I got a 9-hour shift. Let's see if I'll go live tomorrow. I will really try. I will, but Mondays, after, you get the weekend, you're like way too out of it. You become accustomed to being lazy. Melatonin. What work you do? I do assembly. I do labeling, packaging. I move pallets, wrap pallets, put pallets onto docks, ships, shipment. It's a lot of stuff. Usually I'm just labeling though, or sometimes I do assembly. I haven't done assembly in a while, but I work at a warehouse. It's a low tier job. I get paid $20 an hour, so it's not bad pay. I'm gonna be replaced 5 years by AI. Yo, Taco, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. Manly. Plus Patreon makes a chunk. I've actually lost several Patreon members. I don't make that much from Patreon. I mean, it's not trivial income, but it's not that much, especially over the past month. A bunch of people have been dropping. I don't know why. Y'all gotta get the Patreon. I'm gonna do more frequently just exclusive content for the Patreon. I did that already. There's like 6 videos that, well, I mean, there's a bunch of exclusive content, but it was just like a month ago that I did, like I said, I would do like every month a week straight of Patreon content exclusive. And I'm definitely gonna stick to that. So y'all gotta check out the Patreon. And then I got videos 2 months ahead, almost 2 months ahead, and I got videos that I'm gonna put up for Premiere. So it's definitely gonna be 2 months. But yeah, I mean, if you want to wait 2 months for my YouTube videos, instead you could just watch the Patreon. No ads, early access, exclusive content. And there's gonna be way more now. Do you go to college? Yeah, but I don't take college serious. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta like take it more serious. I've been creeping. MB, are bad theist debaters expected under atheism? Actually, yeah. On Christian theism, for sure. No doubt about it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're dry. Get the likes up. Come on, gang. People are waiting. I'm waiting. You're waiting. YouTube is waiting. We got 50 people on YouTube. Guys. Alright, guys. That's the... You seen Jinxie? I've low-key been tapping into some Jinxie. It's pretty funny. I don't watch streamers, though. Yeah, what's up? Okay. Do some fan service, then? What, you want me to get topless? What we talking? Fan service. A quick clip. Bro got a nanosecond of being up here. Yo, he's gonna go viral. The big MB. Yeah, it's true, average. Yeah, I don't know. Come on, I have faith in you guys. I have more faith than a Christian has in theism. In Yahweh. But will I be disappointed just like the Christians? I mean, you guys at least exist, but maybe my faith is unwarranted. Let's see. Come on, guys, interact. Get the likes up. That's cap? What's cap? What is the cap? What did I say that was cap? I don't even remember what I said. When you die, you're screwed. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, shit, I'm so screwed. I am so screwed. How's it been, people on YouTube? How long has it been since my last stream on YouTube? Well, obviously like a couple of days, right? Because I did the one where the PC crashed. But let's like see the actual last stream. Yeah, the last one was 4 days ago. Before that, it was 2 weeks ago. Wow, 14 days. Yo, what are we doing? Get the likes up. Oh, we got someone. Okay, finally. We're not talking with you, Kay. I don't know. I mean, we don't got nobody. Maybe I should talk with Kay. Yo, what's up?
Hi.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah. So you want evidence that God exists?
Mm. Or arguments, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you believe? Like, do you believe the Earth is a globe?
Yeah. Do you
So
know?
how? And well, you've got to find out. If you are arguing about God's existence, you will have to understand where you live first.
I live in New Jersey.
No,
How
I
do we get a God?
mean as in Earth, the Earth.
I'm pretty sure New Jersey's on Earth.
Okay, I know that. But what I'm asking you is, like, how do you know that you live on a globe?
And let's say I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I suggest you find out about that.
I get to it. But do you have an argument or evidence God exists?
Yes,
Or?
I do. I do.
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, we live in a firmament. That's my argument.
Okay, let's say we live in a firmament. Now, how do we get to
Yeah.
God?
So that
Okay.
is a creation,
What is
and a
the
creation should
firmament
have a
was created?
creator. Yeah,
Why
by
would I think
God.
the firmament? Okay, why would I think the firmament's created? Did I just
Because
glitch?
it
What
is
the hell is that?
it contains everything. Someone should create it.
Why should someone? If you're just saying
It
someone
just
created
cannot come into existence.
it, what? What do you mean? Just it couldn't just come into existence?
Can something just come into existence?
I'm not sure what that means. You mean like pop into existence spontaneously?
Yes, that's exactly what you believe.
No, that isn't what I believe. I mean, that's possible, but I'm not by any means
Then what do
promoting a
you
view
believe?
like that.
What
I'm
do
just
you
asking
believe?
you why I think it's created. So I can grant you as a causal explanation the firmament. But the question is why I think that the cause is an agent. It's a minded being.
Where did your mind come from?
No, that's not an answer to my question, but that seems like now we're just
No,
like
you are talking
no.
with
Yeah, no,
thinking
it's
through
not
your
an answer.
mind. Where did it come from?
Where did it come from? You're
Yeah.
asking for the causal history of my mind?
Yes.
Let's say I don't know. What does that have to do with? I'm asking you to make
That
an
is
argument
that
the
is the answer
firmament
to
is
your
created.
question. That is
The
the
answer to my
exact answer
question.
to your question. God created you.
Let's just get this clear. The answer to my question, what's the argument the firmament has a creator, is that where did my mind come from?
Yes. That's a good question, isn't it?
No, yeah, it's great. It's fabulous, yeah. Do you have an argument for that, though? I'm kind of interested if you have an argument that
Yes,
the firmament
because
was created.
yeah, the firmament was created. In fact, it's contained. The water cannot be stuck to a ball.
Okay, well, like water evaporate. I'll catch you on the flip side, sister. Oh my god, this is brilliant. This is great. Yeah, what's up? Duck Army, you're up. What the fuck was that? Yeah, what's up? Okay. Yeah, I gotta get people up. Yeah, I gotta get people up. Yeah, what's up? No, I cannot hear you. I could hear my echo, which is blasting and reverbing, better than I could hear you speak. I don't know what in the audio matrix could be going on there, but you gotta get your shit fixed. I'm gonna keep it real. That was disgusting. What in the audio troubles was that? That was so interesting how like people have the most craziest audios. Like I don't mean like, you know, like crazy background noise. Like how do you get that? What was that? This is genuinely hell, yeah. RGB mic. I have a macro on your live liking it. I don't know what that means. Y'all gotta get the likes up. Come on, double tap. Get to 35K. We got 60 people. We don't got nobody in the queue. We're back on PC, gang. Y'all gotta do better. Do better. I'm gonna get people up. This is PC. How is my mic? Is it like too loud? Is it picking up a lot of background noise? What is that? Did you guys see that? Yeah. Am I like freaking out, or did I see my screen keeps is like my image of me not like bugging out? Your mic is just fine. It's good. I see it too. Yeah, what is going on? Is it the back of the wire? The cam? Puerto Rico. Yeah, I don't know. We're not getting people up, which is fine. I like it chill, but I don't got much to yap about, to be honest. Tomorrow or Tuesday or whenever, we could take it more serious for sure. Now that I got my PC fixed. Should I go back to doing TikTok response videos? I don't know. I'm too lazy to do that crap. I've been seeing tons of good response things to respond to. I know some people were fiending. Theosophical made a video on me. I saw him in here. Did he join here to get my attention or something? Did he say anything? Let me see this video. Why is my connection not working? Yeah, my internet's been acting up all day. But yeah, you gotta get people up. I just posted the conversation. I'm not gonna lie. Theosophical got cooked. I'm gonna post that too. It's gonna be on my YouTube channel if you haven't seen that debate. Who was here for that debate? Y'all gotta let me know your opinion about that. Theosophical. I think it was like funny when he said like, what did he said? Like, I'm not gonna entertain giving an argument for that. That convo was embarrassing for him. Bro, it killed me. It killed me the fact that he said that there's a before God created and an after God created, and the sense of priority is is ontological. That God is ontologically, God before he created is ontologically, so God is ontologically before himself. It's just genius. And the stuff about like him not responding to the abduction and him contradicting himself about, he said like it's logically impossible that something comes from nothing, and then he is committed to saying God comes from nothing. Bro, that was fun. That was hilarious. Yeah, it's gonna be posted on YouTube, but it's gonna be like said 2 months ahead, or ahead 2 months from now. Have y'all been peeping my thumbnails? My thumbnails are peak. I got some new thumbnails on the way. I'm not gonna lie, they're not as good as the previous bunch I just did. So, but I've been cooking up some really creative ones. What do you guys think about my my thumbnails? I've been peeping you all right? Okay. You made it a little hot in here. I'm gonna keep it real. They're tough as fuck. Look at the one with Theosophical. Actually, I'm not gonna show it. But I do got some good ones I'm cooking up. Actually, let me show the newest one I made. Actually, it's not gonna really show if I try. Here, because I don't even have a video planned for it, but it's not gonna show. No, you're not gonna be able to see it. Whatever. Yeah, guys, keep interacting. Come on, we gotta get people up. Pure AI slop. That's not even true. Not like most of my thumbnails are not even AI. Let me see which couple of thumbnails were AI. Some of them you can't even notice are AI. Let's see which ones are AI. Okay, so we got the one that says proof Christianity vaults your one's intellect. Not AI. The Backrooms one is AI. The universe doesn't need magic. Not AI, not AI, not AI, not AI, not AI, not AI, not AI. The Dream Core one is technically AI because of the background, but that's not even slop. Not AI, not AI, not AI, not AI, not AI. Technically AI, but that's doesn't count. Not AI. I mean, I had to use AI to help. Not AI, not AI. AI. Bro, I barely had AI videos. I just listed like the past 20 videos of mine, or 15 or something like that. Only like one of them was really AI. Some of them technically use AI, but not like just to generate the thumbnail. And you could barely notice their AI. Yo, what's up?
Nigga, stop chutting out. Why are you chutting out?
Treading?
Chutting.
I'm chudding.
Yeah, bro, you're chutting out.
How much?
Who cares, bro? Who cares if people believe in God? Just go make some pizza rolls or something, bro.
It's just entertainment, man.
You don't gotta shit on faith, bro. It's okay. I'm just fucking with you.
All right. Well, is that all you got? Okay. No, y'all seriously gotta get people up. Let me check YouTube because I gotta be moderating YouTube myself. Is there even any mods on YouTube? Oh, there is. Yo, what's up, Astro? What's up? Who's on YouTube? Celezo, Astro. That's it. I see you guys been holding it down. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, people have not been behaving on YouTube, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and people are like spamming on YouTube. Yo, what is good with people? Bro, we got all these deleted messages, bro. I don't know. We're probably not gonna get no more guests. I'm not gonna be on for longer, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll do 30 more minutes if I feel like it's worth staying on. I shouldn't have went live now. I knew the algorithm was gonna treat me right because I don't go live at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock on a Sunday. But I couldn't help myself. I just got my PC fixed, so wink wink. What did you say? I didn't even see. Thank you for the gifts, by the way. Aid. Wait, what did you say? Wink wink. Proud chud. Bro, you don't gotta hate on the chuds. Talk about hating on faith. Chudding is the new swag. No, I'm a mom. Chudding's the new swag. I'll probably be a chud. Bro, who's the guy who said AI slop? What are we talking about? Do the roses boost algorithm? I heard they do. I don't know if that's true though. I think gifting in general boosts algorithm actually. Yeah, I'm only gonna wait 15 more minutes, or No, I'm gonna wait like 5-6 more minutes for another guest, and I'm not gonna be on for much longer. I'm not interested in waiting around. I'm gonna keep it real. When does the season of One Piece end? I thought One Piece. I missed the latest episode. What the hell? I thought the season ended with the what was it? The last thing. Hold on. Thumbnails are pure human slop. Okay, that's funny. But they are not slop. That is crazy. They're peak. They're peak. I wish I could. Actually, I should be able to. Let me see. Add source. Display capture. I got all this blocking. Add. Now let's open up. Yo, this is bright. No, I don't mean to. Okay, let's what the heck? Hold on. How do you get the not display capture, window capture? Okay. Let me just show y'all, cause y'all niggas just hating for nothing. Talking about slop this, slop that. Yeah, we got Ogar. Since I'm gonna be ending, y'all should visit Ogar after. How do you open? Hold up. Not copy link. Yeah, like come on, this shit's tough. This shit is tough. Hold up. How do you open it in new shit? What is it? Yeah, I don't see the options. Why is there not? Okay. Let me just increase the size of this, because okay, never mind. How do I undo that? Let's get this bad boy bigger. Okay. Let's just go through them. We'll just run through them. Peak. Okay. Peak number 1. Oh my god, it likes. I can't see the thumbnail of this one. How do we just open? Is there not a way you could just see thumbnails? Just take it off the screen? Okay, bro. You know what? I could do Discord. Let me see. Yeah, I could do Discord. I think that's the best way. Let's go through them. Let's go through them. Nah, because we're not gonna know. Okay, hold on. Let's close this freaking things. Okay, I can't. This is one of the new ones. Let's zoom in. That's too zoomed. But come on, this shit's tough. I can't show you all of them. I gotta take some down. Okay, let's go through them. That's tough. That's tough. I already showed you this one, but this is tough too. This is tough. Let's see. We got I like this one personally. I know y'all gonna hate, but we got some Basquiat. Basquiat. Best Puerto Rican artist, by the way. I actually got a shirt about Basquiat. My favorite artist personally. Tough. Don't lie. This one's hella tough. This one is hella tough. This is more tough than your cock when you see a hot ass bitch. Come on, this is tough. This is one of the toughest thumbnails you ever seen. Let's be for real. This one is actually for the Theosophical. Look at me, I'm moving at the speed of light. Tough thumbnail. Tough thumbnail. This one, you guys are not supposed to be seeing these, but it's tough. Look at this. Look at this. And it's a wombo combo because it promotes my Patreon. You see that? Like I got that hustle mindset. Yeah, this one tough, holy tough, holy tough, holy tough. Yo, I'm literally an artist. Are we seeing this? Are we looking at the same art over here? Who said slop? Ban these guys who said, is Serial in here? Serial. Ban whoever's saying slop. This is tough. This is tough. Come on, guys in the chat, tough. Say tough. I don't want to see nothing but tough. I don't know what's with the crying emojis. This is tough. This is tough. Let's keep going through them. Yo, like, are we playing? Are we playing? Yo, you don't want to go like thumbnail for thumbnail. Y'all gotta subscribe to my YouTube, bro. Like, who has thumbnails like mine's? This is not AI. None of this. What are you talking about? AI? Why do people keep saying AI? I don't use AI. Not really. Sometimes I do. Like this is AI, obviously. AI generated the background. But this is tough. This is like super tough. Actually, let me expand it because it shows too much of the freaking black edge or whatever. This is better. This is better. Tough. 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 That's all I got. Actually, I got more. Hold on. I gotta be sure I don't want to show literally everything. I also got some other stuff here. This one I'm gonna do. This one's not that tough. This is not AI either. None of it's AI, but I don't know. This one I'm thinking about not using, but I might use it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Did I really use up all my thumbnails? No, I got a couple more. No, I don't want to show all these. Let me see what else I have that I could show. No, I'm not gonna show anymore. Bro, tough. I mean, I don't got my old thumbnails here. I don't know why. I thought I had the list of all my thumbnails. Well, you can look at the other thumbnails I didn't show that are already obviously on my YouTube channel, but tough. Here, this is the final one I'm gonna show. This one's tough. Yeah, I'm just yeah. God has to nerf me. If God exists, you gotta nerf me. Your boy Ogar got cooked by who? It's not tough, it's blasphemy. It's both. It's both. It's tough ass blasphemy. That's what that is. Come on, that's there's some blasphemy that you gotta be like, hold up, that's some tough blasphemy. This is what that is. Sorry, it's tough, exactly. It's so tough he's apologizing. He's like, sorry. That's tough. Tough slop. Alright, we'll get a ban on that guy. The purple super tough. Amen, brother. Wild slop. Wild slop. No one believes this, bro. There we go. Tough to look at. Tough is all AI. This is all AI. Yeah, this is all AI. Okay. I actually have Canva. I got Canva receipts. I literally have Canva receipts. On God, they hit hard. Yeah, they hit better. They hit harder than your like mother's cooking, I swear. Now, only if you came up with a coherent worldview. Well, of course my worldview is coherent. You know, it's funny because you always like say stuff like that. I don't know if you're a troll, but you never like actually come up and debate. Are you even like theist? Why don't you actually like come up and debate?
Yeah, you have a very
Time.
faulty memory. I've been up on here multiple times.
Oh yeah. Do you have an argument that God exists, or?
No, my argument specifically on the comment you addressed, if you have a more coherent worldview, you should probably talk about that.
What does it mean for a worldview to be more coherent than another? That's like a really strange view.
So aren't you
there's
dismantling
degrees?
Christians or a theist worldview?
When you say more coherent, that implies there's degrees of coherence, but
Yes, yes, because we don't have an ultimate understanding of everything, correct?
But you understand that violates like norms of logic, right? Coherence
Explain to
is
me
just
that.
something is coherent if it's logically possible. It's not like
Okay.
there's degrees of coherence. It's a clear line. Something is coherent or incoherent. There's not 70% coherent, 80% coherent. Now you can have 80% credence in a proposition's truth. There's no such thing as more coherent than another. There's more plausible, more probable. You could say that one view is more probable, plausible than another, more intuitive. I don't know what more coherent means.
Okay, so you're saying that I should change the language in using the word coherent.
I just don't know what it means. I genuinely don't know what more coherent means.
So would you say that the Christian worldview is coherent?
No.
Okay, so would you say that your worldview is more coherent than the Christian worldview?
I don't know what more coherent means. I already said. If you're asking me if mine's is coherent compared to theists, yeah, I would say mine's is.
Okay, so in terms of language, why would we have to complicate that if you understand what I mean?
More coherent is the complication. Saying
But
mine's
you
is
understand
coherent
what
and
I
yours isn't is not complicated. More
Okay, so
coherent
you understand.
is complicated.
I hear you. So you understand what I mean.
No, I still don't. No, I don't.
Okay. So if
It's like if I say, I can say my car is red and your car is not red. I don't know what it means to say my car is more red than your car.
Is there not degrees to colors? Is that the game that we're playing now? So there's not a darker red and a lighter red?
Yeah, but then you could say my red, more red and darker or lighter red's different.
But it's different degrees, correct?
You can say like pink is closer to red than white.
Right, because
It's
if we're
not
like
blue
looking
or
at it from a
red.
spectrum, we can like see the dial, correct?
Okay, I mean, perhaps that wasn't the best analogy, but the point is, it's just incoherent to talk about there being degrees of coherence. I don't know what that means. And then you're just like saying that I'm making something more confusing by just saying it coherent or not coherent. You don't have an argument, you said, for theism? You don't have any argument for theism?
I'm sorry. I specifically, as you requested me up, you responded to my comment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you have a worldview that would be coherent, okay,
Well, you
that
accuse my view
challenges.
of not being coherent, which is odd because I doubt you even understand my view. I mean, what about my view is incoherent?
I'm actually trying to explain to you that I don't know your worldview. All you
So then
talk
why did you
about is
accuse it of being incoherent?
No, there's no accusation. I simply said
You said
should-
now only if your view is coherent.
Okay.
You said
Are you trying to
only if you
understand
had
what
a
I'm saying,
coherent
or are you
worldview.
just going to consistently respond to every single word that I say?
understand what you're saying. It's very clearly implied, and you're just trying to act like you're not saying what
When you
did
say something's implied, I literally do not know your worldview.
Okay, but the point is what your comment implied you did. And now you're just saying...
How
you're
is
just making
me
excuses
saying
for
that
your
if you
point.
have a better worldview, it implies that I know it?
You said, now if only you came up with a coherent worldview, implying I don't have a coherent worldview.
If I don't know about it, where am I left?
Then it's inconsistent with your comment.
How is it inconsistent? I'm still waiting for you to give me your worldview. Now we're talking about the meta of having a conversation about a worldview instead of you simply giving your worldview.
Yeah, you're not understanding. You made a comment implying that my worldview is incoherent. And now what you're saying is you don't know my worldview, which is inconsistent with what your comment says.
Okay, so if you're on live
get
and you're
that?
specifically talking against everybody else's worldview, when do I get a chance to
Let's just
hear
be
your
really
worldview?
charitable. So my worldview is not incoherent?
I literally do not know.
Okay, you don't know whether my worldview
Yes,
is
because I would have to
coherent.
hear.
And is
Yes.
the claim that you don't know if my worldview is coherent, is that consistent with your comment?
I don't see why not.
Okay, now if only you came up with a coherent worldview.
Yes.
You understand the difference between that and now only if you have had or have a coherent worldview?
Okay, so if I don't know your worldview and you're now saying that you have one, when do I get to know it?
Okay. I'll just be super charitable, but obviously that's already a dunk. I mean, this is just bullshit on your behalf. But
You're
when you ask
simply,
for my
like,
worldview, what
dodging
exactly are
to
you
just say
asking?
your worldview. It's so easy to
Sure,
shit on
whatever.
other
I'm not.
people's. Just say yours.
That's not what dodging is. It's not dodging. In fact, you were clearly dodging the fact that your comment implies an inconsistency with you saying you don't understand my view.
Is
And
it a
I was addressing
possibility
that we could
that-
tie that up, and then we were going to move to my view.
I hear
That's
you,
not
but
a
is it a
dodge. That's
possibility?
not what it means for clearly just stupid rhetoric. A dodge, knowing that comes after, and we had not tied up where we are. Okay, what about my worldview? Do you want to know?
I have more priors of you than you have of me. Okay, so I scroll on TikTok Live,
So
I
what
typically
about my
see.
worldview?
Hold on, I want to address when you keep saying implied. I consistently see you talk about everybody
What about
else's
my worldview? Do you want to
worldview.
know? Okay, so
I
what
don't
about
know
my
it at
worldview?
all. I truly don't know it. I don't know how you formulate anything. I only hear your arguments against.
Okay. What about my worldview? Do you want to know?
So if you were on the hot seat, okay, say like somehow we were able to reverse your prompt for you to answer it, what would the prompt look like and how would you answer it?
I'm a theist. What's the best evidence or argument that God doesn't exist?
Did you not understand what I was asking?
I'm asking you. That's the reversal you're talking. You're just asking me to give.
No.
you
I'm saying like if you were in my position, right, and you were analyzing yourself, okay, what would your prompt be?
What?
Okay, you're saying you're an atheist, okay? Best evidence against God. What would the reverse? What would your worldview, if somebody were to do the same thing to you, what would the prompt look like?
I just said I am a theist. What's the best argument or evidence that God doesn't exist?
You are a theist?
Yeah, you said the opposite.
Okay, maybe I'm again using words
The prompt
incorrectly.
was flipped. Instead of saying I am an atheist, I am
Hold
a
on, no,
theist.
no.
That's the best
The
evidence
prompt
or
can't be
argument
flipped
that
by
God
itself.
doesn't exist.
Hold on, the prompt can't be flipped by itself. I'm talking about in respective to your worldview, because in your prompt, it's speaking to theists, correct?
Yeah, the background is
So,
oriented towards theists.
so if somebody were to understand your worldview
You're
and
super
put up a
coherent, man.
prompt, if somebody would understand your worldview and they know your worldview, what would that prompt look like? Let's start there.
I don't understand what you're asking.
You're challenging theists, right? So you are challenging theist worldviews based on your prompt, correct? Why is this
No,
hard
I'm
for
not
you?
challenging theist worldviews.
How are you not challenging theist worldviews?
Because I don't talk about theist worldview.
So when people come up and they ask for evidence against God, and then you show them why, whether it's contradictions, bad argumentation, whatever, that something doesn't work, what are you doing there?
Giving an argument against theism.
Okay. So would you say that theism can be indicative of somebody's worldview, or do you not grant that? Because maybe I'm making an assumption.
I don't really understand your question. A worldview is more broad than a single proposition being true or false. I mean, obviously, proving a single proposition true or false has implications to whether that's a part of your worldview, because if it's false, it's not. But that doesn't mean we're having like a worldview comparison or having any relevant sense of a worldview analysis merely talking about the truth of a particular proposition. It's not talking about one's worldview, it's just talking about a particular proposition someone happens to believe.
No, I actually hear you and how you're presenting that, but I feel like you're still confusing what I'm asking, because I'm not saying you go back and forth with your worldview and their worldview. I'm simply saying typically when guests arrive who believe in God, they typically have a worldview, whether it's Christian and then whatever sorted denomination that might come under, Muslim, etc. They have a worldview that is typically based around God. Do you agree with that fundamentally or no?
Well, one commitment in their worldview is that God exists, obviously.
So you wouldn't grant that Christians kind of like typically wrap their understanding about life through the lens of their understanding about the Bible?
No, they do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What? Oh, wait. Actually, let me make sure. Do you actually keep it separate, God and the Bible, on how Christians even approach this conversation? You don't even see it in the way that I'm presenting? Because I might just be making assumptions, and that's why you're missing it, even though that's just typically how these conversations go.
I'm not sure if there was a question there. You're
You
asking
take,
me
do
if
you
I
separate
the
God, the
Bible.
God claims, versus how they view the Bible? You typically do that.
I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I don't talk about the Bible if that's what you're asking. I don't know what you mean separate God and the Bible. Like, I talk about theism, theism generally. I don't. Obviously, when people fall within being a Christian or particular denominations, they have certain metaphysical implications that are relevant to how they argue and objections to their view, and we, respond accordingly. And those are probably theologically motivated, sometimes separate philosophical motivations. Sometimes I don't know and care about the origins of those
Okay,
views.
you don't
and
even think
attack
about
them.
that shit. Okay, I get you. You don't even think about that shit. Okay.
I mean,
Okay,
I doubt that most of the philosophical stuff is implied from the theology. So
You said you doubt that? Why?
yeah, I don't really see how the theology has any. Well, I'm not sure it has any trivial philosophical implications, honestly, but I don't see how it has any significant, for sure. See how it has any significant philosophical implications.
When you say significant, for a story that like has propagated throughout our time to get us
Well,
to
it
reach
doesn't
a
tell you
point.
whether God has propositional content or propositional knowledge or not. It doesn't tell you the energies, essence, distinction. It doesn't tell you about the metaphysics of causation. It doesn't talk about how God acquires experiences without sensory apparatus. So it doesn't give you anything about the philosophy of mind. It doesn't tell you anything about God being outside of time. It doesn't commit you to God being outside of time. It doesn't tell you the metaphysics of being outside of time. None of that's implied. doesn't really imply significant stuff about God's nature or the inner workings and the mechanics and machinery behind those metaphysics. That seems like independent philosophical inquiry that theologians and philosophers have like endeavored through independently. It doesn't seem like the theology actually strongly implies that at all, which explains why there's like at least a dozen denominations that have hefty traditional philosophical traditions and ideas of God's natures that are radically different than one another. Some think God is divinely simple, absolutely simple. Others don't. I think he has proposition knowledge. It like varies significantly.
So when you say, okay, I hear you.
Maybe perhaps I'm wrong about that because I don't
No,
study
no, no, no.
theology, but
That's clean actually. I
I'm
see this
friends
as
with
a great
people who
thing.
do study theology and they have at least a decent grasp on philosophy, like my friend Sir for sure. And he tells me he doesn't think that the theology implies really anything about the philosophy. So I take his opinion to be some evidence for that, given he understands philosophy to a reliable degree and is very well versed with respect to, theology, philology, Christology, whatever else.
So how do you manage? Okay, religion is extremely popular in terms of like the amount of people who communicate it. How do you not grant that even the philosophers themselves are taking from these books, from these religions, to then explain life? Because you make it seem as if there's nothing that can be used, but clearly that's not the case, because there are philosophers who would use and have used the book or other religions to derive their philosophy.
I mean, obviously, Christians explain a lot of stuff with the Bible, obviously.
Forget about Christians, we're talking about philosophers.
Oh, theists you're talking about, right?
Sure. Yeah, anybody in the religion spectrum. Yeah, because it's one of the most propagated stories of all time, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can have theories about teleology and purpose with that. You can get ethics from that. I mean, you could get pretty much anything, or well, not literally. I mean, but you could get a significant bite of the philosophical landscape from the Bible. Though I don't think they're strongly by any means implied, or at least most of the stuff. I mean, perhaps like you can get like an ethics, but it doesn't imply like meta ethics, a specific meta ethics.
Okay, you're talking about directly stated. Is that fair?
No, I'm talking about not implied. So
it's not implied at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's implied. Like obviously, the Bible is not going to say like we're a non-natural realist meta ethics. Of course, it's not going to say that. I mean, probably those concepts didn't even exist back then, or that language for sure. Well, actually, probably the concepts themselves didn't exist. Like people didn't even have those philosophical ideas.
Okay, you're definitely a different breed. So I'm gonna have to review your understanding, your separation. You're significantly different in how you process this information than the typical atheist field. So I am gonna like think about how you see this, because it's quite interesting. But I just feel like you're kind of still using loosely that there's nothing implied, because when you have that story, we are now having the conversation about the story. We are now debating the meta ethics, the meta principles. We're debating all of that type of stuff. When you say it's not implied, does it not show up? Do you also grant that it shows up?
Yeah, I mean, meta ethics doesn't show up in the Bible. Like nothing about the Bible will imply anything about the types of meta ethics that follows the Bible or follows Christianity.
Okay, I understand. I'll just come back another time.
Why many Christians are completely fragmented meta-ethically. Some are anti-realists and appraiser relativists with respect to God's stances. I think what is morally good turns on God's attitudes, preferences, goals, intentions, stuff like that. Others think that moral naturalism is true and that moral facts reduce to natural facts designed by God. Others think that moral facts are non-natural facts, reached on pure reason or intuition and other stuff. Some theists are even error theorists. I mean, it just completely is. They just reach all corners of ethics being Christian There is no convergence
Okay.
strongly on what is the meta-ethics of Christianity or most of the philosophy of Christianity. It's just way too fragmented. It doesn't seem to apply to anything.
I mean, I agree with the fragmentation, but I don't think I would. That's just like human error, right? Because like I would attribute the very thing you're talking about to scientific discovery over time. We just have ability to test it so that there's no confusion because it's repeatable and testable. But when it comes to obviously the Bible, to be able to repeat and test that information, you would have to be working with tools, and we don't have technical tools to do that.
What do you mean?
Yeah, repeat it. Like this. So, for example, you're saying that everybody's scattered, but I'm just like treating that as like typical human error because people can hear a word and then interpret it in different ways. It has less to do with whether or not the Bible is strong in its depiction of whatever it's trying to depict. It's just like natural human error.
Yeah, but philosophers are notoriously apt with respect to their ability to detect the philosophical implications of natural language. So
Yeah,
two
maybe to
Christian
them
philosophers
personally,
can read
but
a
you're
text
forgetting the
and
translation part. I hear you, but you're forgetting the translation part.
sure, I mean, I'm not
Hold
sure
on, you
that
personally can
translate
understand
that's
something
true.
really well, but to be able to translate it in the same way to reach that other person, that's just human error at that point.
Okay, well, I'm not sure the translations really do much, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know.
I would consider it is all I would say. My girlfriend keeps calling me, so I will try to get back to you. It's very interesting how you process this. I want to talk to you more about this specific thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you go because I gotta go soon. I'll talk with one more person.
All right.
All right, Oliver. I'm not gonna talk with who's the other guy connecting. I don't have the time for it, to be honest. I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow. Yo, what's up, Oliver?
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Hi. I would like to use the various miracles that cannot be explained by science to prove the existence of God. So the first one I would like to use is the saints that don't rot. So there are two examples, but the one I'm aware of is Saint Bernadette, which was a French saint, and when she died, her body did not rot. So a human body rots exactly after death unless they are embalmed or under extreme conditions like extreme pressure or the lack of oxygen. She was not preserved and her body did not rot whatsoever. The other example I have is the weeping icons. So there are numerous paintings around that. You can research that, and I'd like people to research it.
No, I'm not gonna
But
do research.
there are
Let's just
the
go
weeping
through.
icons, which are statues and paintings that weep various kind of material. The main one is myrrh. So
Let's
I
just go one at a
can't.
time.
Yeah. So
The
Saint
various issues
So
is these events even.
yeah. So for the saints that don't rot, Saint Bernadette is a good example.
So whether the datum even happens. Or we could say actually, let's even say theism is non-trivially updated. You probably aren't seeing the last one, but I'll read it anyways. So the first and foremost issue I'm going to have is the first one. Well, actually, we could talk about the second one, but obviously I don't believe those. Just granted the miracles happen. The question is whether the datum is even predicted on theism to count as evidence. And often it happens that people present miracles here, and then they have no capabilities to effectively explain how those miracles are even expected on the type of theism to which it even counts as evidence. So saints didn't rot. Why, if Christianity were true, would you predict that the saints wouldn't rot? Because just to be clear, evidence is construed in terms of prediction. I'll give you a concrete example, but there's a rather standard. The reason why the floor being wet is evidence it rains is because when it rains, you predict the floor would be wet. So given that's some prediction that came to fruition, that should rationally raise your credence in the proposition that it did rain. So to say that it's evidence for Christianity that saints did not rot, that means if Christianity were true, we would predict that saints wouldn't rot, which I find to be a very peculiar claim. How exactly is it that if Christianity were true, would we predict that saints would not rot?
Well, you can't predict that, and a lot of there are only 2 examples of saints that haven't rotted. There are a lot of examples of bodies that haven't rotted
Not
in
predict.
history.
Well, not predict that this person would not rot, but what you expect if Christianity were true would be that there are saints that don't rot. Why would you predict that if Christianity were true?
I don't know, but it's a fact that there are saints that haven't rotted after
Well, that's
death.
already a problem, because then that just discounts your ability to say it's evidence.
I don't think so. I think that if you have
Well,
something
evidence
that
just
goes
means
against
that which is
science,
predicted.
and well,
I don't know, it means
I'm-
go against science. Perhaps you're
well, it
saying
does.
that. What does it mean to even go against? I don't know what that means. What does it mean to go against
Well, a
science?
human body decomposes immediately after death. So, for a human body not to decompose after death must be divine intervention.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a claim. I'm asking you what it means to go against science, though. If you're just saying it's like a empirically infrequent or atypical event, I can grant you that. But if you're admitting that it's not predicted on theism, and evidence just means that which is predicted if a hypothesis were true, then you're quite literally, that just translates to you saying you don't have a justification that is an evidence. Like, I
What?
could just say, I can make the claim the fact that the saints don't rot is evidence for atheism. I can make that claim. What's interesting is not that I just claim things are evidence for atheism, and I don't just get away with them for free. When you make the claim something's evidence for something else, you have to show how that's evidence. I could say pigs flying is evidence for atheism, or I could say hippos existing is evidence for atheism. Why is hippos existing evidence for atheism? You have to do some work there.
Well, the
But if you're
fact that the
saying you can't
saints
show it's
were
predicted, then
well, the saints were Catholic, the saints were Christian, and
sure, right.
that would be my reason.
Okay, what about them being Christians? Reason to think that that's predicted on Christianity.
Well, because there are no corpses that haven't rotted that aren't Christian.
At least that we know of. But yeah, granted, even that those are the only ones ever. It's still
would
not
be an
clear how
example.
theism. Yeah, but that doesn't tell me how theism predicts it.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, prediction is what constitutes evidence. When it rains, you predict the floor would be wet. It's a consequence that is expected if that thing happened. So if the event of Christianity, so imagine Christianity were true, would we expect consequentially saints would not rot? I don't see why I would expect that consequentially.
I'll be honest with you. I don't really know what you're telling me. I can't really understand what you're saying to me. Maybe I'm just not.
I'm saying something is evidence when that thing that we are claiming as evidence is a consequence of some hypothesis. Say the hypothesis, it rained today. That's a hypothesis.
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted evidence it rained today, what I do is I appeal to datum that is expected on that hypothesis, predicted on the hypothesis. Let's just first think to ourselves, what is something we would think would be true if it rained? Maybe the air would be moist, the floor would be wet, grass would be wet, skies would be cloudy if it just recently rained, so it would be cloudy. Stuff like that. And if I go out and I see the floor is wet, I see the air is moist, I see the clouds are gray, well, those are all evidences it rained, because those are all facts that are predicted on the hypothesis it rained. To count as evidence means the hypothesis predicts it. But when you say saints not rotting is evidence for Christianity, that just means Christianity generates the prediction that saints would not rot. But the question is, how does Christianity generate that prediction?
There is no prediction. There's nowhere in the Bible that says that would happen. It's just a miracle that has happened. None of the
I
miracles
agree it doesn't
in the
explicitly
Bible
say
were
it. I don't think
predicted.
everything that's evidence for some hypothesis has to be explicitly stated. You can make inferences to whether that's expected. But the question still is, like, if you're just admitting that you don't have any reason, I mean, imagine an atheist just saying theism predicts saints would not rot, and the fact saints rot happens is evidence against Christianity. Now, an atheist can say that, but they have the same exact epistemic burden, which is showing that Christianity predicts that there would not be saints that don't rot. So we can make paradigmatic claims. I could just say the opposite is evidence against Christianity.
I do understand what you're saying, but it's a scientific fact that bodies rot. You have to accept that.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not disputing that. I'm not even disputing that the saints are not rotting. I'm granting you all that stuff, and the question is just whether theism predicts that. If it just doesn't predict it, and or whether you can't show that it's predicted, then you're just not in an epistemic position to claim that that's an evidence for Christianity if you can't show that Christianity predicts that thing. Just like if I wanted to say hippos is evidence for atheism, and you ask me, okay, show me how the atheism predicts the existence of hippos. If I can't show you it predicts that, then I'm not warranted in saying that that's an evidence for atheism.
Okay, so
even if it were, like, imagine somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make my argument invalid.
Yeah, it would be like a undercutting defeater.
Okay, I'll accept that. That's fair.
I mean, even if we assumed it's predicted, there's other questions like whether that evidence is trivial, and what that means is like something could be evidence but like extremely weak. So it's kind of opaque really how you gauge probabilities here, but like if we took the example of like Superman exists and I wanted evidence Superman existed, or let's say Spider-Man, because Spider-Man lives in New York, so it's better. So if Spider-Man was real, imagine like he fought Green Goblin and he took like a pumpkin bomb to the face and he got his mask and hair blown off. So if I want to evidence Spider-Man existed and I see he fought in a specific location in New York, imagine I go to New York and then I see a piece of hair on the floor. Well, believe it or not, it's predicted that if Spider-Man existed and fought in that place and got a pumpkin bomb that we see in the comics blow off his mask and his hair flies off, then we do predict that he would have a hair on the floor, a black piece of hair. So if I pick up a strand of hair, that is a prediction generated if Spider-Man actually fought there. So that is some evidence, but you know, I think that's like an ostensive example of like really, really weak evidence. It's like rather trivial.
The issue I have is I could give multiple miracles which could prove it, but there's no prediction of the miracles, so you would render that argument invalid.
I'm saying if we assumed it's some evidence, the question is, how is it that we show that it's some interesting evidence, and further, how does that check for the entire computation of theism's probability? Like, I'm assuming you want to make like an accumulative case of a set of miraculous events, but we would first have to calculate the individual update that a particular miracle event provides you to assess the cumulative probability. But it seems unclear how any of these, if none of them individually provide like any interesting degree of evidence, then you would need like a gross amount. And if you don't have I don't know, like imagine it's so little you need, like imagine it's like the Spider-Man thing, like we would need thousands, possibly hundreds, thousands of more stuff to raise the prior probability. And because I think we could talk about the starting probability of theism. I think that's really low, especially Christian theism. That's insane. Because it's theism plus like literally thousands of additional commitments, unironically. So its prior probability is vastly low. But I think the starting probability of atheism versus theism strongly favors atheism. So it seems like there's a crazy hole to dig yourself out of, and further to go from the low priors on the really low starting priors of Christianity to Christianity's more likely than atheism. It seems like these miracle claims at best would provide some like really interesting update, but not a really interesting update in context to debate surrounding atheism or theism. Like one obvious issue with this whole evidential reasoning is like the probability of Christian theism cannot exceed the probability of theism generally, right? And that's just like a basic constraint on probability. It's like an axiom of probability.
What do you mean by theism?
Theism is just the hypothesis that God exists. the opposite of
Okay.
atheism. Atheism is no God,
Yeah.
theism is some God. Yeah, theism is just the hypothesis that some God exists, and of course, more modest hypotheses are always more likely. That's like the rule of modesty, but it's like a subset, anyways. Like, take the proposition I have a car. Well, it's more likely I have a car than I specifically have a red car, because car includes red car and every other car, because it's not specific about color. If it's a car, it's a car. So it's more likely I have a car than I have specifically a red car. Well, it's more likely I have a red car than I have a red car with bulletproof windows, because that includes both cars with bulletproof windows and ones without, which you can imagine there are no non-bulletproof window cars. So at best, the probability of a red car versus a red car with bulletproof windows is equal to or less than, right? Necessarily, it's more likely I have a red car than I have a red car with bulletproof windows, or they're equal. So when you think about the probability of theism compared to Christian theism adds a bunch of auxiliary commitments, which, aseity, atonement, resurrection,
Yeah.
a bunch of historical claims, miraculous claims. All of those are individually lowering the prior probability of theism to such a whole. And I can go into explaining why I think, very obviously, the starting probability of atheism and theism strongly favors atheism, because atheism is a rather modest claim, because theism is a conjunction of independently controversial propositions. And atheism is just saying that one specific conjunction is not true. So I would even say it's trivially the case that atheism is more likely than theism, a posteriori, or even just antecedently. So, like, not considering any new information, we would just assign our prior probability strongly in favor of atheism. When Christianity, it seems actually like this. It kind of just seems, I've actually talked about this in depth, and the problem with getting evidences for Christianity, they can only do this. This is an objection I kind of called like the debt objection, which is just that the probability of Christian theism, given the posterior probability of theism plus the auxiliary commitments of that makes Christian theism, is necessarily less than Christian theism, vastly so. But getting evidences in this way, like miracles and stuff, can also not exceed the probability of of Christian theism to theism, meaning Christian theism updating on any amount of evidence is still less than theism, right? But it seems like so you would basically be undoing debt. It's like, some proposition makes theism less likely, then you get evidence for that proposition because that proposition generates some expectation. But you can never even get you can't even get your full money back. So it seems at best, with all this evidence, all you could possibly do is get Christian theism as likely as bare theism, which I think is like already a non-starter. But imagine you even did that. Then it just becomes a question about the starting probability of atheism and theism, which then, I think just obviously favors atheism, and strongly so. Theism is a collection of very immodest claims, like there's a disembodied mind. In fact, many philosophers just think this is explicitly logically incoherent, disembodied agency. So there's already like very plausible reasons to think this proposition alone is false. But then there's a disembodied mind. It's an immaterial mind too. You can have a disembodied mind that's still material. You could just imagine a mind without a body, like a brain in a vat would be perhaps a mind without a body, obviously. But God's a spirit, so he's an immaterial agent. He's also an agent, meaning he's not only an immaterial mind and a disembodied mind, but he's a mind that is sensitive and receptive to reason. He has innate reason, so you buy into something called nativism, because God already has reasons, which rationalizes his decision to create or whatever else. He's sovereign, meaning he doesn't have a cause for himself. He caused the universe. But then that also assumes stuff like there isn't causal closure, which most philosophers believe in, which causal closure is that material things only stand in causal relations with material things and immaterial things only with material things. You're positing an agent that could cause both the material and immaterial. So I can show you the empirics for each one of these propositions because most of them are actually surveyed by philosophers, but most of these propositions independently, in fact, most philosophers actually think are just the ones that theism buys into are just false. Like physicalism is the dominant position in philosophy of mind, so that there's an immaterial mind. 53% of philosophers are physicalist about the mind, and only I think 38% are non-physicalist, and the rest identify either as some other stuff like illusionist or are agnostic or various other positions that are in between. So when we're comparing like dualism, that the mind is a different substance than the material, just explicitly it's a rather dominant position and growing that the mind is physical. So the fact that most academic professional philosophers converge upon that opinion is a strong evidence for that. There isn't per se a survey about whether disembodied agency is intelligible or coherent, but there are various philosophers who explicitly say they have the view it's incoherent. It's not like incredibly implausible that it's an incoherent view, just because to be like a mind is to have experiences, to have phenomenal states, but without like sensory faculties, then you couldn't have perceptions. And what does it mean to have sensory faculties without a physical apparatus? Usually we understand sensory faculties in terms of eyes, ears, mouth, and physical ways we compute or acquire sensory information. It's kind of that type of metaphysically queer machinery is unseen. There's virtually no theories really about how that even works at all.
What does metaphorically queer machinery mean?
Metaphysical machinery like concepts like the inner workings of how you acquire an experience with an immaterial mind, having no physical sensory faculties. Metaphysical meaning like relating to metaphysics, and queer just meaning like really strange. It's like a really metaphysically strange idea to think that there's like that type of machinery going on. There's like a non-physical mechanism of acquiring experience. There quite literally is no theories about that, how that works at all, which is really just epistemic laziness. Many theists just say, oh, God's ways are unknown, but there's a serious metaphysical demand for the inquiry concerning that type of machinery. It's not like you could just say, oh, God's ways are mysterious and just like leave it at that. So those are really implausible. It's just like everything about each one of those commitments are either really unlikely and implausible, potentially even incoherent. So the probability of all of those true of a particular being should be obviously really unlikely that being exists, compared to atheism, which is just denying that conjunction.
I'll be honest with you. You're probably the most educated person I've ever come across. But I think before I go, I think my point would be that if the saints didn't rot argument doesn't prove Christianity, what does it prove? Except for you could say it proves nothing. You could say it proves nothing, but what would it prove?
Well, proves is a stronger claim, I suspect, than evidence, because like take the Spider-Man case with the piece of hair on the floor. I don't think we would want to use the language of that proves Spider-Man. Instead, we want to say that that's some degree of confirmation, that's some evidence. My claim is not that it's not proof, because I'm way farther than that. My claim is that it's unseen how it's any evidence, and even if we grant it were some evidence, I remain skeptical whether it's any interesting degree of evidence. And even if it were interesting, at best, all the miracles could ever do is get the probability of Christianity equal to the probability of theism, because it's a subset, right? Christian theism is a specific form of theism, just like Dodge is a specific form of car. the best I could show is that it's as likely I have a Dodge as I have a car. And then that just comes down to starting probability, which, I think atheism just easily wins. It's not even close. So I don't even think it's any evidence. If it were evidence, it doesn't seem like it would do much for theism. If we assumed it did the most it could do is make Christian theism equal to theism, and then theism versus atheism gaps. So even if we pretty much assumed all the thing you were trying to argue for, it would still bottom out at atheism winning. At least that's my take.
Okay,
And of course, I don't think
do.
most of this is
Yeah,
even the case. Like, I don't think it's
I
evidence. I
do.
don't
I
think it's interesting evidence. I
yeah.
don't think the miracles even
I
happen. I mean,
can.
or at least I'm
Okay.
skeptical. Yeah.
I can understand what you're saying in a way, because it's been disproved that that the world isn't 4,000 years old, but the world not being 4,000 years old isn't proof that God doesn't exist. So I
I think
do
the
kind of
world not being
see your
4,000 years
argument.
old is Well, I think that's consistent with Christianity. I mean, I guess that turns a bit on the hermeneutics and stuff like that about Christianity. I'm not sure really much about whether Christianity's truth really implies an age of the world like that. But of course, most serious Christians don't even think that. So I'm
Yeah,
not even
no,
that
I
concerned
don't
with that.
definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately, I think this is just obviously a good spot to end, but I do gotta go anyways because I do got work in the morning. So
I
I'll
mean,
catch you.
thanks for debating me. You've been a very good person to speak to.
Yeah, no problem. If you ever want to talk, I go live regularly. It's your choice if you want to follow me and come back another time, or maybe just stick around, listen, whatever. But I will leave. So I'll let you go. Have a
Okay,
good one, by the
goodbye.
way. Enjoy your night or day. I don't know where you're from, but it's night for me. Let me take this off my face. I'm gonna repeat this. I got new videos coming up on YouTube, but more importantly, buy the merch. Unfortunately, I'm not wearing the hat, so I can't show it right now. But y'all gotta buy the merch. The merch is nice. There's new merch products. I have really bad news. The YouTube store is glitched. If you're on YouTube and you try and buy my merch from YouTube, it has merch that doesn't even exist anymore. Doesn't show the new merch. So y'all should just go in my link tree. You should see my Teesprings account, which is my merch website, and y'all could see all the various merch. I got 7 hat options, right? No, I got 8. No, yeah, I got 7 hat options, including or not including a beanie. So I guess there is 8. And then, there's hoodies and stuff. I think the hats are the best thing to get, but yeah, y'all should check it out at the very least. It looks good. It's not an unreasonable price. Like, New Era is $50 plus a cap. Literally, I've bought in a $70 and $80 cap before. My caps from my merch store, which merch is usually more expensive than normal clothing, it's literally $38 plus shipping. So it should only come out, it's under like $45. I guess it depends where you live. Don't live on like the other side of the country, but it's reasonable price for a hat. It's good. It supports me. So yeah, I'm just gonna end here. I don't know when my new videos are gonna come up. I'm still gonna wait until I do a couple more lives and get more content to upload new videos. I already got 4 videos finished and on the way to upload for Premiere. Subscribe to my Patreon if you haven't. This video is actually, I'm gonna keep this live up because this is my welcome back. So you can watch this on YouTube in the live tab if you want. But the next several lives are presumably gonna, or actually I think I'm gonna do, I don't know, because I want to give to Patreon, but I also have no content for my actual YouTube. So I'll probably just do a couple streams until I can get like at least 1 or 2 videos for my main channel. And then the next like 7 or 8, maybe even 9 streams are going to be Patreon exclusive. So definitely consider checking out the Patreon. I'll catch y'all another day. Peace. If my TikTok could close. All right, peace.